I don't really think the split changes anything dramatically other than lets others buy in that perhaps wanted a piece of this at, at obviously a more reasonable price. I think the more important thing is the commitment on the buyback. And ultimately, we think the commitment on the cost savings that they're putting in to the model that they highlighted in the last earnings call, that they're pulling back in some capacity build out, is the last couple of years have been fast and furious, and they're going to show leverage. So as we've said, Amazon stock does very well in harvest mode versus invest mode. We think we're going back to harvest of the big investments they put in. Yes, the split is a positive outcome for mass market shareholders. It doesn't change anything about the company. And then clearly the buyback is probably the most important thing. So we look at the buyback valuation pullback, and ultimately this going back into more harvest mode versus invest mode is a good outcome for investors going forward.
Brett, do you think this is a harvest mode for Amazon as we've seen them before, over the long course of its history, where they do go through the pendulum swings from investment into kind of reaping the benefits? Or is there anything going on now, whether it's because the company's at a different state of maturity or under different leadership, that it represents a more strategic, longer-term mode of operation?
Mike, I think on your second point, I think it's different. I think Jassy is the software guy. And having worked in the software industry myself for over 20 years, the software executives think of high-margin businesses. They think of high-recurring businesses. They don't think of loss-leading businesses. I have never spoken to Jassy about this, but my belief is he'll find a better, more profitable, recurring way for investors. And so without, again, having a conversation with him, I think that's important, and that this is a change. And again, many of these big logistics investments they put in the low margin business are in. So you get the high margin businesses spend, you get the lower margin businesses that hopefully aren't going to go any lower, and you have a better outcome. So I think it's a positive with him in, and ultimately what they're doing here with the strategy, the buyback. And again, the split is a rounding error in my opinion.
Brent Thill, thank you for jumping on the phone as well, as Amazon looks to hold on to some after-hours gains, up more than 6% right now on that news.